All right, so if you are an e-commerce brand and you want to grow your list, this is going to be the go-to video on exactly how to do that. I'm going to explain everything as simply as possible, but in as much detail as possible. Number one, I'm going to go over exactly how to grow your list, so what methods get you the best growth and how to optimize those methods. Second of all, I'm going to show you exactly what offers best convert into the most email subscribers. And then lastly, I'm also going to show you exactly how to build out the entirety of the funnels with examples of what other brands are doing, so you can just pretty much plug and play. So let me just change over my screen and show you exactly how to do it. All right, so quickly switching over, one thing that we absolutely have to cover is exactly why email is so important and having a list is so important. And I'm not going to go over this for long. I want to skip to the really good meat of the video. But what I do want to say is this is important to know as a foundation, because there's a lot of myths about email being dead and what is the point of getting a list. I'm telling you, the longer you don't have a list, the longer you're going to lose money. Now, what you're doing is you obviously are probably running ads if you're scaling a brand. That's inevitable. And you're spending to acquire new customers, and those customers will then go and convert. But the issue is that's where it ends. That's where the funnel ends, and it shouldn't. Email marketing is intended to make sure that they increase their spend consistently, and they increase their purchase frequency. So those are the other 66% of the lever. What you're focusing on is just 33% of your revenue, which is the first time conversion and new customers. That is not the only revenue driver. There's a massive portion that you're completely ignoring, and it's actually 2/3 of the funnel that you're ignoring. Because number one, new customers drive new revenue. That's the 33%. The other 33% comes from increased spend per purchase, and the other one is increased frequency per purchase, right? So increase AOV and increase expenditure as frequently as possible. Those are the three foundational factors that increase revenue. And so email makes sure that you have all three of those in place, as well as maintaining loyalty. You cannot rely on ads and impulse purchases and branding for the foundation of repeat purchase. It's not going to work. And so if you're running an e-commerce brand and you're not building an email list, you're pretty much lighting money on fire. And the reason for that is because email usually drives 30 to 50% of the revenue for the smartest brands that I work with. And you can see that over here, right? You can see that for this brand, in 30-day period, we ran emails for them, and we did $1.5 million out of the $3.8 million that they got overall. So that's a huge portion. That's 40% of their overall revenue. Then another brand, 54% of their overall revenue came from email. So if they didn't have email, they actually would have lost $2.2 million in the span of 1 month, which is ghastly, and that should happen to no one. And then lastly, another brand, 623,000, that is pretty much half of what they do is in total. And so they would have been below $1 million if they did not have email revenue. So it's a huge proportionate. Then if we take a look at why growing your list is actually non-negotiable outside of that, there's 4 billion email users. I don't know who says email is dead, but they're absolutely misinformed, and they're probably losing a lot of money, so I wouldn't trust them anyway. So there's 4 billion users on email. It is undefeated. Second thing is you actually own the list. Unlike social media and ads, where there's algorithm changing and also you're constantly spending to acquire attention, you don't have to keep spending to acquire attention on email. Once it's yours, it is yours, and you can utilize that. The third thing is ROI. For every $1 spent, you get $36 back. Ads cannot even come close to that, and you know that. Then aside from that is repeat revenue, of course, is mostly driven by email. The reason being is because, of course, you spend on ads to acquire a customer, email maintains that customer. So let's take a look at actually building your offer. Now, building your offer is the most important thing, and there's a few different best performers. Number one is percentage off, then there's dollar amount off, there's free gifts, there's chances to enter a giveaway, free shipping, PDF downloads, and webinars. So the main ones I want to cover are the best performers and the best converters that we've seen across all of the brands we work with. Anything below 10% does not perform, but usually 10% to 20% is the sweet spot for getting subscribes. And this is the way that the brand Ovi does it. They cover the entire screen with a pop-up, which you absolutely have to do, and I'll show you why shortly. And with that pop-up, they're saying, hey, here's 20% off, but first you have to select this pain point and give us your information, which is a fair enough exchange. Then Pila does a free gift, or Pella, and they're a phone case company. They do incredibly well, and they offer a free phone case on sign up. You just have to answer whether you're iPhone or Android, so they can obviously tailor messaging and products to you. Then a giveaway from Magic Spoon, which does incredibly well. They're one of the best performers on email marketing that I recommend you pay attention to. Now, in terms of why we do certain things, here is exactly exactly why, and you can pause this video. But here are the stats, right? You can see that the best stats is an email with an image, obviously, email with coupon, and this is on the sign-up form. So if you're asking for their email address and you have an image attached, it performs way better than not. Then also making sure that you have an SMS with image also performs incredibly well. Likewise, SMS with coupon, email with coupon. So showing that there is a coupon code is very important. And then full screen form performs absolutely the best. Don't be scared of pushing away customers because you'd rather get their conversion. Then in terms of the others, obviously, if you're not comfortable doing any of that, there's strategic ways to do it. You can offer, for example, if you're a wellness brand, hey, download our 10-step guide for optimizing your sleep overnight without any supplements involved. And then you can send them over some free value. Or a webinar where, again, you say you're a wellness founder, you get on the call, you talk about wellness hacks, and they can subscribe or give over their email address to get the information for the webinar. Now, in terms of methods of growth, which is the most exciting part of this video and the meat of the video, I want to go over organic, paid, and a system that you absolutely have to implement, and then referrals. So these are all the ways you can actually grow your list that not many people talk about. It's all fluff. It is not very sensible. And so the best way to grow your list is obviously through these methods. Number one being organic. Organic is a no-brainer. Everyone knows that organic content is important, but what types of organic content and how do you actually do it? Well, the most important thing that is pushing off right now and is a huge trend is founder-led content. So a great brand to look at is Bloom, and they use their founders' Instagram to push a lot of their traffic and a lot of their attention. And so they do it really intelligently because they identified their demographic, and what they're doing is they're using the founder's page, Greg, to run some organic content that goes incredibly viral. They get millions and millions of views, and a small percentage of those millions of views obviously will end up converting and going to the website. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure they have somewhere to go once they watch this. So generally they'll go up and they'll click a link in the bio, which is super important, right? Go send them to a link in the bio where they can subscribe to the newsletter, or they go straight to the website, which is the highest optimized page. That is founder-led content, and that is the best way to do it because it is organic. You can compound views, and obviously a lot of people are going to be drawn to the founder instead of just the branding. Next up is a brand led for virality. So what Liquid Death does separately is they don't lead with a person or a founder, but what they do incredibly well is they have a brand that goes viral very easily because of how intentional they are with their marketing. So instead of relying on, a founder-led and without relying on too many ads, what they do is they make content so controversial that it's worth the share. And as a byproduct of that, it gets a lot of attention and organic traffic goes to the website. Again, they always link it in the bio. Super important. Now, what is super important about this is, as you probably know, Liquid Death grew incredibly fast. It is just a water brand, so they have no business doing as well as they do. But the reason why they do is because they did exactly this. They drew organic content straight to their website and they're able to retarget. The way that they do it, though, is slightly different. They run controversial ads. So, for example, they will show pregnant women shotgunning their drink, and it's controversial because anyone that doesn't know the product thinks that they're shotgunning a beer because that's how they've intentionally branded themselves. But in actuality, it's water. And so they play on the fact that they are kind of controversial. And so traffic gets very intentionally drawn to them, and they attract a very specific demographic because of it. And another brand is Graza. Graza is just olive oil, and they rely on UGC content. But again, they make sure that they always lead you to a website or some kind of newsletter. The difference with them, though, is that they're not trying to push their product. They're not using a founder, but they are using other people's content. So the reason why they do so well is, again, their product looks like it's in a sriracha bottle and it is olive oil. There's nothing special about it. But the reason why it's done so well is because people post cooking videos with their product because it looks good on Instagram. It kind of strikes some curiosity from their audiences. So it's been designed to go viral with a very different intention. And again, what's happening is they make all of their UGC content lead to their website or a specific newsletter and landing page. Then we move on to paid advertising. Now, Graza, again, is a great example. Although they do a lot of organic content and rely on that, what they do really, really well is they run many different variations of ads. And you can see pretty much all the ads are focused on this last call offering some kind of offer. So again, we just went over the offers and what people really like. And so they're offering a free product in their ads. You click on shop now, you get redirected to the website, and what happens, you get that pop-up that we spoke about initially. So it's almost unavoidable. You want to optimize for capturing their information no matter what. So the second you go to the website, it literally covers the entirety of the page and you can't see anything else. And you can see this on all of their ads pretty much. So they're stating a dollar amount here, they're saying get free this. And you can see it on most of them, right? So that is the way that they're driving a lot of curiosity and traffic, is because they already have a preconceived idea of the offer, which is attractive enough for them to make their final move. And Bloom is another great example, again, just being straight up with the offer and then leading them to a learn more page and then leading them to a sign up form. Super simple. Now, a really good hack that is more recent and not many people are talking about is ManyChat. Now, ManyChat looks like this. It is a software that you can plug into Instagram. Now, keep in mind, this has been impossible for the longest time because we have limitation on what we can send, what we can't send. But ManyChat has just introduced this option where you can initiate a message to anyone that follows your account, which is incredibly powerful for anyone that has strong organic content or you're steadily growing your brand. Because again, the most important thing is anyone that is kind of interested, we want to make sure we can retain them so we can send them personalized messaging to heighten the chances of conversion instead of relying on impulse. And so this is why this does so incredibly well. You can pretty much go into ManyChat and then click on here, go to automations and create one from scratch. And what you can do is you can set up this trigger that when someone follows your account, you can actually send them a message. So like this brand sending over 1,200 messages. And what happens is they actually go through this funnel. And as you can see here, you can see the stats, right? So it has a 73% open rate. And what happens is we let them know, we say, hey, by the way, really appreciate the follow. If you didn't know already, we're actually offering 20% off to the next 100 people that give us a follow and subscribe to our newsletter. So here's the link to do that. Subscribe to our newsletter and we're sending it straight over to you. And so this way, you're growing your list where it was never previously possible with just organic content and a little bit more aggressively. So this is an easy way to increase the amount of people that come in and follow you and obviously give over their information. Now, the most important thing that I have another video about, which I recommend you go and see, is the welcome offer. It is all good and well having people subscribe to your list and you're growing your list confidently now, but how do you actually extract revenue from it at a reliable rate? So what we've been able to do, and you'll see that in the video, we generated $249,000 in the span of 30 days for this one brand. And exactly how we did it is we just optimized the welcome flow. And what this is essentially as people enter into your sign up form, you're sending them a, hey, by the way, here's 20% off. And it's an automated sequence of emails that are strategically trying to get them to convert on their purchase. So it's trying to get them to convert for the first time. And here's exactly what it should do. It should deliver the offer immediately. It should tell your brand story quickly, build trust, and cross-sell or focus on recommended bestsellers. And so here are some brands that we've broken down as an agency, and Byte is a great example. So you can see they send their first email that looks like this, and they explain exactly, what you can expect. What can you expect from being subscribed? Then they send founder-led emails like this. They send some convinced emails showing you exactly how to use the products. And if we zoom out, you can see how many of the top brands all do this. Every single one. Heights is a great example. They say, hey, welcome to Heights. Here's the code. Here is the button, blah, blah, blah. They're showing their bestsellers. That's the best way to do it. And you can see that there's a formula. First email is always simple. It goes straight to the offer that they wanted and it shows them bestsellers. Second email is usually founder-led. It's a little bit more transparent. And somewhere along the lines, there's an us first them. So you can see this across the board, right? You can see that Dr. Sasquatch or Dr. Squatch rather does this as well. Super simple. They show exactly their offer. And then later on, they show us first them. So it is consistently the same formula. And again, we cover this in another video that you absolutely have to watch because this by far is our highest converting flows. Umra is another great example. So they're saying, hey, start here, here's your welcome code, etc., etc. This is exactly how you need to set it up to where you are guaranteed to make conversions. Now let me show you exactly how to set up the pop-up form and build it with you so you can do it easily yourself. Now what you want to do is you want to open up Klaviyo and you want to go to the side here and you're going to go to sign up forms. Then from the sign up form you're going to go create. I personally would choose blank, or you can choose some of the pop-ups that are already selected. And we're going to do full page test because remember we want to set up a full page sign up and you're going to choose your list. Cool. So we're going to save that. We're going to go into the design, and it's going to be a super simple process. So we generally want to make sure that we can design this where it has an image. So for sure, we want an image. We know that we'll put something there. So we're going to upload this image. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to say, sign up or unlock 20% off your first purchase. Perfect. And then over here, we're going to say, get, will never spam you. Perfect. And then here we want to change this to something different. So here we're going to say unlock send now. Perfect. So that's pretty much it. Now we have it completely set up, but what I need you to make sure that you do is you take a look at what it looks like on desktop and mobile. So this is what it looks like on desktop, which is going to be great once you have the image and once you design your branding. But on mobile, you know, you still maybe want an image, but it doesn't look too bad. And so what you'll do is you just want to go in here and you probably want to just drag in an image that you can filter in. So you can choose how you do that, but just an FYI, you absolutely need to optimize for both. And so the best format for this is you want the email in the first step, and then up here you can choose another step and you can do a mobile opt-in. All right, so mobile opt-in, choose whether you want it to be this, and then you're going to go and choose a list for them to go into. So let's just go here for instance, and that's going to be it. So smart opt-in, perfect. We're going to do this and we're going to say join the club, blah, 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 and it's going to rejoin. So same kind of thing. And then on the success page, what we actually want to do is we want to show the discount typically. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the coupon code there so it's copy pastable, and we're just going to filter it in. So that's pretty much it. You're going to say, nice, you're in, here's your discount. And that's pretty much it. So that's how you set up the main flyout option. Now there are a ton of other options. You need an exit intent. You also should have some embedded forms as well. And all of that you set up pretty much the exact same way. You can just find the organic way to set up within Klaviyo. But that's essentially exactly how to grow your list in 2026 as effectively as possible, and exactly how to set up a form optimized for conversion. Now I'll see you in the next video, and comment down below or go and book in a call with us if you do want to work with an agency that can just do this all for you, that has experience scaling multi-million dollar brands like the ones I showed you in the beginning of the video. So if you want these kind of results and you want a team that can speed track it, has been doing this for the past 8 years, then go down below, book in a call, and I'll see you on the other side.